Hi guys, welcome back. All right, Geminis, we're going to go ahead and pull from the little charm bucket. I've been doing different things for everybody today. For whatever reason, three of you guys ended up with charms. I'm in a different mood today. I feel like everybody needs something different special. Okay, so we've got the Fool card here, a tarot card charm of the Fool. Sorry, no, it's really hard to see. We have got the Tree of Life. And we've got the sun. This is wonderful. All three of these look absolutely fabulous. Now I'm looking ahead into kind of like the energy for next week. And if we have got a Gemini who's maybe leaning toward the next chapter of their life, the next adventure of their life, it could begin, like with clarity as early as tomorrow, starting on Monday. Hanged Man in the reverse. No more waiting. Piscean energy there. If this is the next chapter, by the way, somebody could be wearing oranges or reds tomorrow, gold. We've got the Five of Wands. There's been a lot of thought already put into this. And it's like this coming week for Gemini is go time. We've reached the capital. We've reached the point where it's like, all right, time to put this plan into action. Time for me to start trying stuff. I've done the brainstorming. Now let's put it into action. I could picture this being somebody like, okay, we got a Nine of Pentacles. Maybe this is going to be work related. Maybe this is going to be like Gemini is saying, I've thought about implementing something new in my work world. Let me try it this week and see how it goes. Let me implement some new strategy and see what happens. Does it earn me more revenue? Does it make my work world easier? It could be something along those lines, but because this looks more life altering with the Tree of Life and the Fool card and the Sun, or excuse me, the Fool charm and the Sun, I don't think that it's just going to be work related. King of Wands in the reverse. Is Gemini kicking out somebody's selfish opinion and saying, I don't care what somebody else tells me to do. I want to do it my way. I'm not everybody else. It feels kind of like, okay, if Gemini is going to start doing something this week that they've needed to do for a while, they may become single. It could be that Gemini is done dealing with somebody that was quite selfish and they're like, I've thought about this for a while and I've realized this is not the partnership I want to be in. This is not the person I want to date. As of this week, I am single. Death and rebirth. I picture right now, like Gemini literally going through their house and looking around. And it could be that certain things in their house weren't even their picks or their opinion. It could be that, whomever they were dating had too much of an opinion and a bunch of their stuff got put in a storage box and tucked away. And, the now fresh ex's items are like littered about the house. And it's like, you know what? This isn't me. This isn't me. This isn't me. I did that one time. I remember when I was like in my 20s, and I wasn't particularly picky about, how things, I didn't care what color, bedspread there had to be or what color, tablecloth there had to be. But he was very specific and his taste was very different than mine. But I was like, I'm not going to argue or fight about this. It doesn't matter if that matters more to him. And then after we broke up, I remember going through and removing everything that wasn't even anything I liked. And then I was like, oh my God, my house is so much better now. Yeah, I didn't realize how much I really didn't like that, geometric patterns and stuff like that. That's not my style at all. But I didn't think it was enough to argue about in a relationship. But then afterwards, I'm like, oh God, none of that was a reference about me at all. So I don't know. This is what it makes me think of, is like going through and cleaning stuff out and getting back to like who Gemini is, what Gemini likes, what Gemini wants. And I'm literally picturing somebody, it's sorry to make that like a personal side note, but I picture somebody like taking something off of a table, like a tablecloth or drop cloth or something like that. And that's what I was like, oh gosh, I did that one time. Where it's, I actually think whomever or whatever, Gemini had been dealing with was actually like not good for their heart. Their heart was like hurting over this. It was like, I wasn't happy. And I didn't even realize it until now that I've made the long formulated decision to go ahead and let let somebody go, to let myself move forward. I don't want to fight. I don't want to argue. I don't want to struggle. If I'm dealing with somebody who's kind of selfish, I think I'm done with that. God, it feels good to be single again. Man, I'm just now realizing I put up with a bunch of garbage, a bunch of crap. It didn't even make me happy. Okay, this is definitely feeling better and brighter. You guys, so nice to see everybody. Annie S., you sweetheart. Yale Reuben, hi sweetheart. So good to see you. Right, that's you, isn't it? Yippee is also Yale. I agree. Annie S., I love the Aquarius video. That was very, very different. That was a really fun one. We got the Judgment card. Everything here says, this is when a character like makes peace with things. This is when we resurrect something. In this case, I feel like it's resurrecting, Gemini's own connection to their higher self. Remember, if this is like a little bit more life altering with that tree of life, and it's about this new leap of faith, and it's about the clarity and the happiness of tomorrow, and it's about Gemini choosing to walk away from things that have actually been bringing them down for a while and they didn't realize how much. This feels like Gemini's like really connected to their guides again, and it's like, oh my gosh, I went through some really difficult times without even knowing it. Now that I'm recognizing my higher self has been trying to tell me for a while. I knew it, but I just didn't listen. We got the moon here. Please remember, these are fictional stories about fictional characters, but this particular Gemini is like, oh my God, I wasn't listening to what I knew in my subconscious. I was, turning away, covering my face. By the way, we just came through that full moon and the Lionsgate portal this week. So maybe that's the other reason. Sorry, guys, I'm going to have to take a break after this. I've got I think like 2 zodiacs left, and I'm going to try to get to them tonight, but I'll take a break for a couple hours first. But with that moon, that, the things that have been hidden are so obvious, so visible now. I feel like this is a kind of a carryover from something that Gemini realized maybe at the tail end of this week, and then they're putting it into action in the following week. Because we do have this Chariot card. That is the forward motion. That is, I'm chess playing, moving forward. D'Artagnan, thank you, Angel. You are always so generous. Thank you. Please say hello to Aram and Noah for me. Thank you for your incredible donation, sweetheart. You're so kind. To have this Chariot card, this is Cancerian energy. I keep feeling better. I keep feeling like Gemini is like, I am so done with this. Maybe they were dealing with somebody who tended to gaslight a little bit, or somebody that tended to, try to get Gemini to do what they wanted. And maybe it worked for a while, but it's not like that anymore. Gemini is taking themselves off of this chessboard and saying, I don't have to argue with other people. I don't have to fight for my own voice to be heard. I don't have to put up with somebody where they're actually the ones who want it all their way, but then they acted like I was the one creating, conflict. I really do think there was maybe some gaslighting in this particular story, and I'm so sorry to say that, but the fact that Gemini is like feeling so much better, and the fact that this has been in the subconscious for a while, and the fact that Gemini is like, my higher self is trying to tell me, and oh my God, I'm so done with this, and this feels so light and bright now. That's why I think that this has been a while coming. Oh, thank you so much. Gemini twin gang. Thank you, Angel. Oh my God, you're so generous. Thank you for that donation. So kind. Hi, Julie Yates. Gemini twin gang. Thank you again, love. That was really, really lovely. We have got the 6 of Cups. It is sideways. Even if this was a soulmate energy, I think Gemini is like, yes. And sometimes we interact with soulmates so that we can learn the lesson that we needed to. And if I'm going to say this person was even unfair in money and business practice, because we see this little lemonade stand, and they might have been like, oh, let's do this stuff together. You and me, Gemini, we'll do all this. But really, then maybe it was like expected that Gemini was supposed to do the real labor and work. And they were like, I'm the visionary. You're the one who makes it happen. Let's do a catering business. Let's do a food cart. But you'll do all the actual cooking and everything. You'll do the tedious, the exhausting, the work, and I'll be the bookkeeper. And I'm not saying bookkeepers don't work hard, but If they just get to show up at the end of the day and just count out the till, that's not an equal business partner. I don't think that's fair to say it's an equal business partner. Or if they just get to run around and do, pick up some groceries, but then all the prep work, all the cooking, all the standing in one spot, for 8 hours a day, that's all left on Gemini. Or Gemini fronts all the money, but see, they're the idea behind it. Like I keep feeling like Gemini's like, there was such an imbalance here. And sometimes soulmates are people that we learn things with. And I learned I wasn't the problem. Like, I mean, I'm sorry, I know this sounds very biased, but Gemini was not the problem in this story. And that's one of the big breakthroughs that I think they already had during the full moon. But now into this next week, they're actually putting that knowledge in the forefront of their mind and saying, I'm free, I'm free, I'm free. I mean, this feels really good. This is nothing to shed a tear over. I think this Gemini is like, oh my God, I don't have to, go through any more lessons with someone because I actually know what I want to do now. Gemini might want to be just alone for a little bit, or they think that right now. They're like, I just need to enjoy sleeping in my own bed, living in my own house, not having somebody else tell me how it's going to be, not having to argue with somebody. I just look forward to just being like, I'm going to come home. And if I feel like leaving my shoes on the floor, I can do that. If I want to leave a dish in the sink, I can do that. If I want to watch the show I want to watch, I can do that. I just want to enjoy me for a little bit. And although I see Gemini, this is not Gemini saying, I don't want to be around people, I'm brokenhearted. No, it's just, I can't wait to just do my own thing. I can't wait to get up when I want to, go for a walk where I want to. I do think, remember, this is the second time we've seen that Fool card. This is Gemini on this brand new adventure. And I think that they need like maybe at least a night or two to just totally veg out, binge watch whatever program they want to see, get up whenever they feel like it the next day without, someone else telling them when it's time to go to the gym or whatever that ex seems to have been very controlling, very bossy to me. But I do think that it's more than that. I think that Gemini has all these flood of ideas of their own, of things that they'd like to do, ideas of their own. Look, that ex wasn't the visionary that they claimed they were. The ex was bossy. Gemini is just as much a visionary for their own life as that ex was any day. Gemini didn't need somebody to tell them how their life should go or how their life would be better as long as they listened to the doctrine of the ex. Gemini is, I think, going to be pleasantly surprised by how many amazing ideas. I think Gemini is very intelligent and has probably like a real brave heart, is very willing to try out new things, and has their own like brilliance and their own connection. Now that they're more connected than ever, you notice all the rainbow light. Now they're more connected than ever to their higher self, to their connection to the divine. I think that this Gemini is like, man, I can't wait to do things my way. I've got some ideas I'd love to explore. This is not going to be a dull week for Gemini. It's going to be a week where life starts over for them. But it's not like, oh my God, I have to recalibrate everything. I don't even think it takes them that long to recalibrate. I think it's like tidy up a few things, sage the house, and break the patterns that I had with an ex. That can be changed in literally 24 hours. And then guess what? My life's my own again. And I got all these ideas. It's very exciting. I don't see Gemini like lollygagging around and wondering what to do with themselves. I don't see this as a huge, like, oh my God, I have to heal so much now. It's really more like maybe it'll feel like it happened to somebody else. Even if Gemini had been with this person for a long time, it might feel almost like, wow, I left an old lifestyle behind. Like I was playing a role in a play and the play has ended. And now I'm in this new play where I'm in charge of it. I feel more like that. This could feel like parallel universes because it's so vastly different, but it's really just that Gemini got their own life back. That's the way I would say this. Very positive energy in this. There's nothing in this storyline that I think is heavy, which is really nice to see. You guys, thank you again so much. Gemini twin gang, thank you, sweetheart. How's the cards? Good to see you. Feeling my soul. Julie again, thank you, love. Happy Bubble, Miss Bubbles fashion. I love all the bubbles in the comments. And thank you again so much. Yale, Yippee, D'Artagnan, the many names I know you as. Annie S., thanks again. Love you. First in the house. All right, you guys, I'm going to take a little break because I'm going to start to cough. I'm so sorry. I've just been, I wanted to get all the zodiacs out today, and I'm really close to it, but I'm going to take a breather for now, and I'll be back in a bit. That's awesome. That's so cool. Gemini Twin Gang, you got a new Viking deck. That's so cool. All right, you guys, take care. Enjoy your deck, hun. Bye.